off, nothing is different. But if the safety's on, your trigger will not do anything when you pull it. All you have to do to fire is just flip your safety off, flip it downwards, and you're good to go. Now it's back on safe. So welcome back to Gun and Shot TV. I don't know if it was universal, but there was always that kid on the school bus, at least in my experience, that his uncle worked for Nintendo and he had, all these games that you've never heard of, and it usually turned out it was bullshit. In this case, I do have something that's pretty cool. My uncle doesn't work for Nintendo, but if you guys watched that overhaul video for my Browning High Power, I got an SFS kit from the guys at BH Spring Solutions. So they're importing those from RDIH of Belgium. They had a new product. They contacted me. They said, hey, if you're interested, we've got this new thing. And you can't tell anybody, but you can test it, and then when we tell you, the video will go live. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, they told me it's okay, I can publish it. But it is a safety for a Glock. Now, it goes in place of your standard slide plate. It does fit the smaller frames. I tried it on my Glock 20 and it did not fit, so it's only going to fit the small frame Glocks. They may have another version they're working on or maybe going to release, but the one I have is only for the small frames. I know that there's probably a lot of you right now that are like, oh, you don't need a safety on a Glock. I totally get that. I don't think this is a product that everybody's going to rush out and buy, but I think there are quite a few people that may, for some reason or another, want to add a safety to their Glock. And for those people, I think it's a really neat product. So, if you're a cop, let's say, and I know a lot of departments do weird shit, like New York puts these really heavy springs, so it's like a 12-pound trigger. You could do that, or you could just add the safety, and now all the Glock safeties are left intact, and your trigger can be standard, regular service weight without having to put a crazy trigger to get an extra safety. Or since it's easily removable, you can swap it on. Like if you're gonna go take a newbie to the range, you want to show them how to shoot, it works great. It pops on and off. It doesn't actively, alter the gun. And there is a market for Glock safeties. I know there is a company that makes a block that goes behind the trigger that you push out before you shoot. I know there's a company that makes a kit where you cut the frame and it voids your frame warranty, but you do put a thumb safety in the frame. I also know there's one where I think it's got like a cross bolt safety thing that goes through the trigger. So there's obviously a market for this, and I really like this concept because it doesn't really change the gun. It's easy to put in. I've tested it. I've probably shot 300-400 rounds through it with no problems. I'll go down the range, we'll show you how it shoots, but really, nothing major, no major changes. It does change the takedown a little bit. I'll put it later in the video, I'll show you how to put it on and take it off. It's pretty simple, but it does change the take on a little bit. So if you're interested, you're gonna buy one, watch the end of the video when I show you how to put it on, take it off and everything, and then I'll explain all that stuff to you. But like I said, we're going to take it down to the range, we're going to shoot it and show you how it works. The big issue, it's kind of far back, so it's more like a slide-mounted safety than a standard frame-mounted safety. And, some people may not really be comfortable with where that sits, but I found that I can grab it and flick it off pretty easy. I'm going to try drawing it from the holster and try and flick it off and see how well that works. It's definitely something you could train to. Getting it on safe, I had a couple different people try it out. Some people were like, well, it's a little bit harder to get on safe without breaking your grip. You can also push this back lever that sticks out to put it back on safe. And the other thing that's kind of neat is it comes with a little padlock. When it's on safe, you can padlock it so it's locked on safe. So that's kind of a neat feature, like if you wanted to maybe, worry about, or you're in an area where you need to lock the gun, then you could just use that, and it's pretty easy to take off and just use one of the little travel locks. It actually comes with one in the box. But we're gonna go down the range, we'll shoot it, we'll see how it works. Like I said, thus far I've shot it quite a bit, haven't had any issues, so we'll show you what it looks like. So we're down at the range. Like I said, it doesn't really alter anything about the Glock except for adds this safety. So if the safety's off, nothing is different. But if the safety's on, your trigger will not do anything when you pull it. All you have to do to fire is just flip your safety off, flip it downwards, and you're good to go. Now it's back on safe. So, I mean, it's really simple. If you can operate a Glock, you can operate the Glock with this safety. So when you open the package, this is all there is. There is the safety system and this key. The instructions are pretty simple. You just take your existing slide cover plate off, put the safety on, and you do that with the slide back. I just kind of want to show you how the safety works. If you look at this side of the slide, there's this bump here, and what that does is it pushes on the connector, and that makes it so the gun can't fire out of battery. And this kind of just goes in here, and this little lever, when the safety is on, pushes, and it's going to be hard to do it without it actually in place correctly, but it pushes on that spot and keeps the disconnector, the trigger bar, from letting the actual striker fall. So the only other thing you have to note is there's this safety plunger up here, and that kind of, when the back plate's off, keeps the tension on your extractor so the extractor doesn't fall out. So that'll be important later, but let me show you how you install it. It's really easy. With the gun not put together, if you take a punch or ballpoint pen or anything, you can reach in here, and there's a little plastic retainer that you push towards the barrel with, and that will let you pull that cover plate out. So to install it really fast, it's a 4-step process. Make sure the gun is unloaded, obviously. Lock the slide back. Take your pin, your punch, your ballpoint pen, whatever you have handy, and you're going to just push that retainer and start sliding your cover plate away. Once it moves a little bit, you don't actually have to push on it anymore. Make sure you put your finger up here when you're pushing, because the extractor spring is under tension and it can go shooting out. It's this little spring back here. Here's your striker and your spring assembly and everything, and there's a little firing pin on the front. So to install the safety system, all you really have to do is you're going to put it back where your cover plate was. You're going to take your punch and you're going to push in on that retainer, and then you're going to push in on your extractor spring, and that's it. You've now installed it. That was pretty easy. Now it's on safe. Now it's fire. It's kind of neat too when it is on safe. You do get some resistance in the trigger if you want to do some sort of like dry fire practice or drawing practice. Obviously, you still need to make sure the gun's unloaded and all the stuff you would normally do for dry fire or drawing practice. But that's all you have to do to install it. Now, you might be wondering what this key is for. Well, the key is if you want to take the gun apart. The takedown process is slightly different now because this actually sticks down, so we can't get the slide forward off the frame with this installed. So, to take the gun down, and they did kind of change it in a way that's kind of interesting. I'll go into that. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to push on that little retainer. You're going to slide the safety away. Make sure you don't lose that spring. You want to take your striker out. You put this safety key in here, and you're going to push down on your extractor spring and turn it. Like I said, there's that little safety button in there. If you were to take the slide off without this plate on, you would actually possibly have the extractor fall out and you'd have some stuff get loose on you. So this way we've now taken the slide off without pulling the trigger, and you just have this key. If you want to take the slide the rest of the way down, you can turn the key, let the tension off that spring as you normally would, and then to put it back together is the same thing. At any time, you can also just put your stock parts back on the gun. There is no major modification required to swap this safety system in. So it's kind of one of those things that I can see as being a valuable tool for like training too. If you want to be able to take a newbie to the range and show them how to shoot and be able to look over and flick the gun on safe if they move over or point the gun in a way that's inappropriate. I know that we go through all these instructions saying, oh, make sure you're always pointing the firing line, but I can't count the number of times new shooters will do something that they just get carried away when they're shooting, and so they'll turn around when they hit the target or whatever. So something like this, I can see the fact that it's so easy to swap on and off and change back to stock if you want. Once it's installed, you do have a little lock hole so you can lock the gun on safe. But that's pretty much the installation and removal. And if you want to swap it back to the stock part, you'll just lock it back like this and push down on that retainer again, pull it off, keeping your extractor spring from shooting out, and slide this back in. So really easy system. So there you have it, the RDIH thumb safety for Glocks. Like I said, this is a new product. Thank you to the guys at BH Spring Solutions. I know they said that there were only like 12 of them in the country right now, and they sent them to some different YouTube channels. So thank them very much. I'm not a huge channel, and it's only because of you guys that watch and subscribe that it's worth it to them to send me stuff like that. So thank you guys as well. It's always cool to get stuff like this. But if you're interested, check out their website. I think they're the only RDIH importer for the US, so the only place to get it. And they've got, like I said, a bunch of other neat like high power parts and Makarov parts and stuff like that. So if you like the video, quick thumbs up. If you have questions or anything, leave me a comment and let me know if you wanted more information or something I missed that you wanted, or measurements or something like that. Leave me a comment and I'll get them for you. And if you want to see more videos like this, click subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.